Hey guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article where the phrase, no good deed goes unpunished, definitely comes into play here. And the title of the article is, Kansas Court Says Sperm Donor Must Pay Child Support. And in this story, guys, this is about a guy who, it seems, as a good deed or the goodness of his heart, for whatever reason, he decides to donate his sperm to a same-sex couple, lesbian couple, is trying to get pregnant, and he does this, and lo and behold, it works. They have the child, and then a few years later, this couple, they separate, and the one parent who has the child gets injured or sick or something, files for benefits with the state of Kansas, and the state tracks this guy down, and now says he's got to pay for it. Okay, even though he signed away parental rights and all that, didn't matter. The courts came after, the state of Kansas came back after him. So once again, guys, it shows, as I did a video about this about 6-7 weeks ago. Not exactly like the situation, but similar. The guy donated his sperm, and guess what? The mother comes after him for money, which goes to show, guys, and don't do it because you don't need this kind of shit in your life. So, but it's an interesting story. Once again, the man gets the shaft. So, article starts off saying, a Kansas sperm donor caught in the middle of a child support case says he wanted to help a lesbian couple when he made the donation nearly 5 years ago. Instead, he may end up paying for his action. A judge ruled that William Morata must pay child support even though he says he signed documents waiving his parental rights. Shawnee County District Court Judge Mary Mativi said on Wednesday that Morata failed to conform to Kansas law, which says a licensed physician must be involved in an artificial insemination process, court documents show. The documents show that the lesbian couple whom Morata helped conceive a child say they performed the artificial insemination procedure at home. So they did this without a doctor, okay? And you know, for whatever reason, who knows, maybe it was they didn't have the money, maybe in that state, depending on the laws, a same-sex couple couldn't do this, who knows, but they did it themselves. The story begins on Craigslist in March 2009. That was when Morata noticed an advertisement from the Topeka couple seeking donated sperm. Intrigued by the ad, he says, he delivered 3 cupfuls of his sperm to the women. 3 cupfuls, good Lord. Is he trying to help make a baby human or a baby elephant? 3 cupfuls, Jesus. One of the women gave birth to a daughter in December 2009, according to court documents. He says, I donated genetic material, and that was it for me, he told CNN affiliate WIBW. Or so he thought. That changed when the parents separated and one of the women stopped working because of an illness and applied to the state for help. The state contacted Morata for child support. Now I want to know how the state tracked this guy down. Obviously the woman kept track of obviously who was the donor, and probably when the state asked about the father or something like that, had no problem giving his name away, and they went after him. So again, this guy does this thing for whatever reason. It doesn't say here whether he got financial compensation for his good deed or whatever the reason was, but nevertheless, going by what this article's saying, he just tried to help him out, and now one of them threw him under the bus, and now the state's going after him for child support. How nice, huh? Kansas officials were not persuaded by what Morata says were agreements he signed before making his donations, that he would assume no financial responsibility for the child, who is now 4 years old. The Kansas Department for Children and Families said any agreement would not apply because the physician did not perform the insemination. Morata said it was news to him. He's quoted as saying, I didn't know that there was no doctor involved, he said. So I'm going to guess this guy, giving him the benefit of the doubt, assumed I make my donation, they take my cups of him to the doctor, and who the hell knows. Or maybe this guy's playing dumb, but nevertheless, this is what's being said. His lawyer, Ben Swinton accused the state, where same-sex marriage is not legal, of being politically motivated in its pursuit of his client. The cost to the state to bring this case far outweighs any benefit the state would get, said Swinton, adding his client has no other children. Swinton said the state is asking for $4,000 to recoup the money it has spent. It is also asking Morata to pay child support, which could run into tens of thousands of dollars, he said. Isn't that nice? This guy's trying to help him out, and now years later, state's coming after him, and he's got to pay all this money for this. Swinton said the Kansas court has failed to address many of the challenges brought forward by Morata, under the guise of statutory interpretation of the law requiring the donor sperm to be provided by a licensed physician. Lawyer says here, from a very narrowly crafted statute, the court has made a very broad rule. That is the issue, Swinton said. Swinton said he planned to appeal the decision. Morata, again, he's the guy that made the donation, said he met the child once, a few months ago, when he and his wife, by chance, crossed paths with one of the girl's parents in an area carnival. He said he had no intention of assuming a parental role. I'm not her parent, he said. But under Kansas law, he is her father. Had a physician carried out the insemination, that would not be the case, because Morata would be able to document that he was a sperm donor and not the lover of the girl's mother, CNN senior medical correspondent Elizabeth Cohen said. For all they know, they were lovers, she said. They need that documentation. He's the dad, he ought to be paying up. Bullshit. I disagree. I mean, that's what they want to say, but again, I think this is a situation where a guy just wasn't thinking things through. I mean, let's be honest here. He responded to a Craigslist article here, and maybe he was trying to do his good deed, or, they say that nothing went on between him and the women. Let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. He was trying to do a good deed, and now this is coming to backfire. Who knows? Maybe this is all a bunch of crap, and he actually did hook up with one of them. I don't know, but again, I'm going by what the article says and what the guy says here. But you have to question the common sense of responding to a Craigslist ad about this whole thing. But it's entertaining to read, and nevertheless, that's why I'm doing this video. And to warn you guys, you get the idea that you want to make donations of sperm, whether it be for a good deed or just some extra cash, be aware that nowadays it may come back to bite you in the ass later on down the road. Though a physician would have tested the sperm for sexually transmitted diseases and certain genetic disorders, there are disincentives associated with going through a physician. A single attempt at artificial insemination costs about $3,000, and sometimes several tries are needed. It's a lot cheaper to get someone to come over with their donation, and then do it yourself at home, Cohen said. Meanwhile, Morata owes legal fees and has taken his story to the news media. If enough noise gets made about it at this point, maybe things will change for the better, he said. Asked whether, knowing what he now knows, would he answer the advertisement again, Morata said, probably not. Yeah, duh. So, again, another example of a no good deed goes unpunished. So, for any of you young guys here that are in desperate need of cash, really think about it before you try to do this. I did an article about 7-8 weeks ago, where this one guy was helping this woman that he went to school with, and he made a donation. He donated to, they actually went to an artificial insemination place, the whole legal process, and then years later, 15 years later, she came after the guy for money, even though she was making great money, I believe, as a doctor in Canada. Didn't matter. She came after this guy for some serious money, and she was making serious money herself. So guys, unfortunately, once again, this shows how in so many ways the deck is stacked against us. It's unfortunate, but this is where we live in, so this is what I report on, do videos on, just to help you guys be aware. And again, if you get the idea in your head to do this, don't. So anyhow, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below, let me know what you think about this, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.